Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to cover the comparison of the essays of UPSC 2023 toppers All India Rank 1 Aditya Srivastava versus All India Rank 2 Animesh Pradhan. So we are going to have a comparative analysis of both these toppers and we will try to see what are the commonalities between these toppers, because this is what most of the students need to understand whenever they are writing essay, and that is also one of the requirement to write a good essay. And what are the things which they differ? That means what are some of the uniqueness with the toppers? One topper would have done something extra which the other topper would have missed it. So we need to learn that uniqueness also. And what are some of the things both these toppers have like done some mistakes which they need to improve? We will have a comparative analysis of all these learnings in today's video, and we will try to improve our essay rating when we are appearing for the UPSC mains examination, students. That is the real purpose behind this video. Okay, before going into the video, students, let me give you a brief analysis. What is the expectation of you while writing a good essay? Whenever we are writing a good essay, there should be a proper structure of the essay, which we keep repeatedly telling to the students that you should write a proper introduction, body, and conclusion. An introduction can be written in multiple ways, which we have discussed in yesterday's video also. Those of you who have missed the first essay series video analysis, we will try to give the link in the description box below. Please try to have a look on that video as well, students. And while going into the concept explanation, we need to clarify to the examiner what is the meaning of the topic which we are writing, especially how we are interpreting the particular essay, and how we are trying to give justification to that. That should be precisely written after the introduction. Then we should move on to various dimensional approaches, and these dimensions are going to play a very crucial role in your essays, especially what I am going to talk about is the temporal dimension. Temporal dimension means your essay should have a clear visibility of past, present, and futuristic approach. Futuristic approach is what I mean is, before writing a conclusion, you should necessarily write a way forward where you give solution to the problems. So that is where which UPSC examiner will get very much impressed in your essay, because students, you are writing, you are aspiring to be an IAS officer, and you should have solution to the problems whichever you are discussing in your essay. And with respect to various dimensions, like in GS other papers, you should have various multidimensional approach like historical, political, social, economical, environmental, ethical, and then even technological, philosophical perspectives can be added to these dimensions. And while doing the stakeholder perspective, you need to necessarily relate the topic with respect to its impact on women, elderly, senior citizen, tribal sections, vulnerable sections. If you are writing the stakeholder approach only, then only it means that the examiner will get very much impressed that you are aspiring to be an IAS officer, because whatever topic is given, you should have a concern for the vulnerable section students at the end of the day. And with respect to structural approach, you should have the impact of the topic on individual, society, and at a community level. So in these dimensions, you should approach the structural approach. And with respect to various sectors, you should relate it with the impact of various sectors like agricultural sector, industrial sector, service sector, sports, and various other sectors can also be added. But necessarily you need to talk about the impact of the particular topic on various sectors in India or the world. Then you can relate it with various other current affairs events, and while writing the conclusion or way forward, you need to necessarily link it with government schemes. And whenever you are justifying in the essay your point or putting yourself a valid point, you should try to validate that point with the help of authentic UN data or government data, budgetary data. And you can also use various examples and case studies to justify your perspective, students. This is also very much expected from you. Not only that, your essay should also have a proper uniqueness. So that also we will discuss in today's understanding of comparison. You will get a good clarity what are the uniqueness of each of the toppers whoever has presented this essay. And we will also look at the presentation, how the presentation differs between these two toppers. Necessarily what I mean by presentation is that you should try to write an essay without too much striking. Organization means your essay should have proper organized approach. It should not be written in a random manner without brainstorming. Interlinking means, what I mean is, your essay should have proper interlinking with the topic whichever is given. Not only that, whenever you are writing the essay, each and every paragraph, that is the previous paragraph and the next paragraph, should have proper interlinkages. And the third most important thing, your interlinking should be with various social issues which are happening in India and across the world. So in this way, your interlinking should be handled, and we will also see with the help of SE analysis today how this interlinking is done in a better manner by the toppers. And underlining keywords is also one important component which you necessarily need to do. As I discussed yesterday, whenever you are writing a structure of the essay, you will be easily allotted 5 marks. And for writing these various approaches or dimensional approaches, for each of the points 10 marks. So point number 2 to 7 each will carry 10 marks each. So you'll be getting 60 marks for that. And the final three components, current affairs, linkages, and justification to that, then having a proper organization, interlinkage, uniqueness and presentation, and underlining keywords, this will carry 20 marks extra. So overall, a maximum mark which you can target in the UPSC mains examination, especially for essay component out of 25, is 85 marks for each of the essay. And in the past also, toppers has got up to 160 to 170 marks in the essay segment. That's why we are saying this confidently to you. So students, let's now try to have a comparative analysis of All India Rank 2. First essay, it actually deals with Animesh Pradhan's essay. Then we will move to the next one, that is the Aditya Srivastava's essay. So this is Aditya Srivastava's essay. And one most important thing, what is going to add uniqueness to our comparison is that both the toppers have written on the same essay topic. So that will add more learning and moreover, whoever is watching this video, they will have good clarity. What are the quality points they can inculcate from these toppers and the dimensions which they can incorporate. Look at this, students. The topic of the essay is a mind all logic is like a knife all blade, it makes the hand bleed that uses it. So basically, this is the topic both of his toppers has chosen. You can easily look at this. So that is what Animesh Pradhan, he got All India Rank 2. So we'll first see the essay analysis of All India Rank 1, and we will parallelly we will be doing a comparative analysis. So you will get to know what are the things these toppers are doing when they write an introduction. Let me look at the introduction for students. Aditya Srivastava started the introduction of the essay with a historical approach. What I mean by historical approach, students, is that he started by quoting the event of World War II. So he is telling that during World War II, the Manhattan Project, that is bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, happened. Even though the discovery of bomb is an intelligent or brilliant thing, but the destruction it caused, actually it cannot be rectified by USA even today. So basically, he is starting the introduction with a historical approach. Let's now look at how the Animesh Pradhan he has started the essay. So Animesh Pradhan is also starting with the help of the same atom bomb related concept only. The person who has discovered it, Alfred Nobel. So he's quoting an obituary news which actually came in the newspaper. The Prince of Death is no more when Alfred Nobel died. So he is quoting that as a statement and saying that how the Nobel Prize Foundation is very much logical and rationality, but the impact of this bomb which had on people, that has caused a larger amount of destruction. So both the topics have actually started with a basically an historical example only, students. So this is what I say whenever you are writing, especially an introduction, what I will be advising to my students is that you can write an introduction in multiple ways. You can start the introduction with your story. You can start with your quote. Like yesterday, we have discussed All India Rank 3, DONGRE ARCHIT Prayer. We started the essay with a quote and ended with a quote. Today's toppers, that is UPSC 2023 toppers, they both started with a historical approach. And you can also link with a current affairs events from today. So in these multiple perspectives, you can write your introduction. So today's introduction of these toppers started with an historical approach. Okay, students, let's now move to the next one. So then they are trying to say the meaning of the topic. That is, it cannot differentiate. A knife which has all the edges, it cannot differentiate between what you have the right and what is the right to do. So basically, they are trying to give concept explanation, concept clarity. This is the second most important thing which you need to necessarily do whenever you are writing an essay. So he is telling the various meanings of this particular topic, students. First thing is telling it the knife or mind with all the logic, it will know what is the right, but it don't know what is the right things to do, as in the case of destruction of bomb. Then it is telling it is very good at cost benefit analysis. This is the second meaning this particular Aditya Srivastava is trying to add. Third most important thing is, but the mind with logic will kill the empathy and compassion as a value, ethical or moral value. So these are the meanings of the particular topic, this particular topper, all India rank 1, Aditya has interpreted. Now let's look at how Animesh Pradhan has interpreted the meaning of the topic. So if you look at it, he is also telling a mind of logic will have rationality, knowledge, scientific expertise, and he is trying to show the example of Obama and Osama. Both have some kind of logic in their mind when they operated. But today's society, how we value Obama as an American ex-president and Osama as a terrorist who was killed, we know the impact and what they have created. One has caused destruction, another one has helped the society on a greater level. So in this way, he is having a comparison and meaning of the logical brain. Then he is trying to quote the various examples. That is, a mind with brain should also have, that is the ethics. So he is trying to say the second most important thing, ethics should also be added. And the third most important thing is trying to add through this essay is that if the brain, that is, mind is operating without logic means then it will have only catastrophe. So that is the thing he's telling through the help of Swami Vivekananda. One needs the right attitude to realize the true potential of his aptitude. So he's also put at the next stating also, logics without ethos will lead to catastrophe. So that is what I have been telling, that if your brain is operating only based upon logic means then it will only cause destruction. So it should have proper ethical value. So if you look at the comparative analysis, the meaning of both the topics have said that a brain with logic will cause destruction. What is missing is it should only add ethics or value to it. So that is a comparative concept clarity. Both these toppers have approached it. So overall, till now, both of these toppers are sailing in the same boat. Both of them have started with the historical approach, and their meaning of the particular topic, how they are interpreting to write this essay, is also more or less same only, students, till now. Let's now move to the next dimension. Especially Aditya Srivastava is trying to enter the historical dimension. So he is trying to enter into the dimensional approaches. First, he is trying to quote the example of Adolf Hitler's story, especially in Germany, how he, through his ambition, he caused a destruction by killing the virtues of love and compassion. So that is the thing he is talking about in historical dimension. Let's now move to the Animesh Pradhan's historical dimension perspective. If you look at Animesh Pradhan's historical perspective, students, here he has written the historical dimension. That is not in the immediately the concept clarity paragraph. One paragraph after that is trying to quote again the example of Hitler, Bismarck, and Kaiser Wilhelm. So he is telling that how they try to attain military superpower, and but that climax did not had that just had logic, but it had more of destruction. So today it has been replaced in the same Germany by ethical democracy. So he's trying to quote the same persons. So in case of Aditya Srivastava, you quoted Hitler. Again, Animesh Pradhan has quoted the Germany example only, students. But what is the additional point with Animesh Pradhan has done is he has quoted the Indian example also in the historical dimension. So he's quoting the Rigvedic system. In case of India, how the caste system has led to various inequalities. Because of that also, today also India is suffering because of this various problems of caste system and even the gender discrimination which has been rooted in the ancient past. So he's trying to add that just because that Rig Veda, that was only a peculiar logic that justified Varna and caste, it caused various problems and discriminations in Indian society. So he's trying to quote not only the Hitler's example, he is adding one more dimension. That is not just the world example, Indian example also. But that was completely missing in case of Aditya Srivastava, where he focused only upon the world example for writing this particular historical dimension, students. Let's now move to the next one. Then this Aditya Srivastava is trying to enter into the political dimension, where he is talking about Rossetti's ideas, where equality of opportunity and freedom should be given to women so that it will reduce the inequalities. But that does not happen in Scandinavian countries. Even today, they are actually trying to increase their effort. So he is trying to talk about the political dimension, where logical brain is trying to solve the problem, but that is not actually happening in reality. But people are trying to add value to that and trying to sort out, as in case of Scandinavian countries. Let's now move to the Animesh Pradhan's especially political dimension, students. In case of Animesh Pradhan, what is the problem is that he has not written his essay in a proper organized manner, but His essay is having more number of points, quality points, and other added advantages, which I will list it at the end of our discussion. But let's now move to his political discussion. So he's adding the political dimension here. So he's talking about how from the various empires from monarchy, anarchy, oligarchy, and democracy has actually evolved. And today we are entered into the democratic society. But even then, today in case of India, so he's first quoted the world examples how this existence has happened. And in India also today also we are facing northeastern insurgencies. And in world, Russia-Ukraine war is also happening. So in political dimension, is telling that even the global consensus for peace is still evolving. So through mutual consistency. So in the past, they have fighted for territorial expansion, but they are now moving to mutual coexistence and peace. So he's quoting the example of Northeast insurgency, which is happening in case of India, and in the world, what is the problem in Russia-Ukraine war. So what he is doing is that Animesh Pradhan is whatever dimension is adding is giving one international example and one Indian example. But in case of Aditya Srivastava, he is only staying with the international example because he only talked about Scandinavian country students. Let's now move to the next dimension, what this Aditya Srivastava is talking about. So he has moved to the economic dimension next. So in economic dimension is trying to say money alone, money cannot buy all the happiness because our rational brain went behind money, but that is only landed into the islands of gloom. So a logical brain will always have another danger, that is just going behind money will not give all the happiness. That is the dimension is trying to add on here, students. But he has converted it in a very less number of paragraph. That is almost only he has allotted for the economic dimension some 3 to 4 lines only. Let's now look at the Animesh Pradhan's economic dimension, students. He has talked about the example of capitalism by Adam Smith, how it has also led to prosperity initially, but it has ended in poverty, inequality, and marginalization. So from laissez-faire economy, it has went to the, we are today giving more stress on Keynesian economics. So what he is talking about is adding more value to his for justification. He is telling how inequality and prosperity both are coexistent. He is also trying to give data to the economical dimension. You should note it, students. Whenever you are writing economic dimension, it should have proper justification of data. So he is quoting the data of World Inequality Report, which you can also use in your essay to justify your points. This is what I have been telling, but this is completely missing in case of Aditya Srivastava because he has just conveyed that quality point or dimension, economic dimension. Okay, students, let's now move to the next dimension, that is the social dimension. In case of social dimension, Aditya Srivastava is talking about relationships have become now contractual and materialistic. That's all he is trying to say. But in case of Animesh Pradhan, he has went into much more deeper points in case of sociological perspective. But only problem with him is he has not written all those things in a organized manner. So we'll try to look at the sociological perspective which he has written in his various paragraphs, one by one, students. With respect to sociological perspective, he is talking about the cookie example, especially in case of cookies, the gender discrimination. Women of particular communities have been discriminated, especially in case of Manipur. So he is giving the example of the gender inequalities or atrocities, gang rape, which have been happening in case of Northeast in the name of ethnic atrocities. So he's talking about a social dimension with Indian example. Not only that, students, as I said already, he always has the habit of writing both international world examples as well as Indian example. Then not only that, he went on to add on the other world examples. Look at it, Karl Popper. He is talking about another sociological perspective. So where society should give powers to solve the problems, not just creating a utopian society. So he's trying to talk more deeper sociological theories into his answer to justify the various kinds of society we should be required to solve the problems. So as I said already, sociological perspective of Animesh Pradhan is having both world example and Indian example. But in case of Aditya Srivastava, he has just written again 3 lines only, like economic dimension. Then Aditya Srivastava is trying to enter into the technological dimension. In case of technological dimension, modern workaholics are emerging, who are trying to reach only the top of the corporate ladder, but they are forgetting the wisdom. So, what is the wisdom? Excess of everything is bad. So, it takes more than intelligence to act intelligently. So, he's trying to say in technological dimension, also a particular perspective. Then, what he's trying to do is again he is going and entering into the sociological dimension, students, especially this Aditya Srivastava. He is actually, he has written his essay in an organized manner only. Only what is the problem is that he lacked the quality points in adding more justification, and sometimes he also misses the organization. As I said, social dimension of Rajaram Mohan Rai, it should have been added before only in the essay when he has written talked about the contractual, especially the relationships. Money cannot buy all happiness, and social dimension is that relationships are contractual. Here only we should have talked about the Rajaram Mohan Rai's example, and even the Jan Andolan movement, which he has missed it. So there is a lack of organization, which was again visible in case of particularly Animesh Pradhan's answer copy as well, students. As I said already, his essay is also having sociological dimension of Indian example, cookie. In one point, he has written cookie example here. Then he went on to the international example at the end of the essay. Before concluding the essay, he is talking about international things. So in both the ways, both the toppers have some or the other points. They have missed the organization. Okay, students, let's now move to the next important thing. What Aditya Srivastava has done. After writing the sociological dimension, Aditya Srivastava is trying to enter into the psychological dimension. So he is trying to talk about how the human mind operates. So he is telling mind will always stick to the comfort zone. This is a psychological dimension. So there are some important uniqueness in Aditya Srivastava's answers and Animesh Pradhan answer. I said no, students. This is something which Animesh Pradhan has not done. Only Aditya Srivastava has written psychological dimension in his answer. Not only that, he has also written evolutionary dimension of Darwin's species theory. So he is trying to quote that also as a justification to his essay. Not only that, he is also talking about another ethical perspective. That is, he is trying to quote the Bentham's utilitarian principle, ethical or philosophical perspective. So overall, some of the uniqueness in case of Aditya Srivastava's answer writing is psychological dimension and evolutionary or biological approach. But ethical dimension was also visible in case of Animesh Pradhan's answer copy. If you look at it, Animesh Pradhan has also given a clear ethical dimension in his essay. He has also talked about the Buddha and other things, especially about the world peace in the end of the essay. We will talk about that, students. So he said that how the Buddha has Alexander who conquered the world. It is not Alexander who conquered the world, but actually Buddha did it. So he is talking about those things. So he is also having a philosophical, ethical perspective in his answer. Only thing is, Animesh Pradhan say throughout the essay there is a clear no visibility of organization. Is trying to quote differently in an unorganized manner, but the points are very qualitative. And what are some of the uniqueness which is only available in Animesh Pradhan answer copy is that anthropological perspective, students. This is missing in case of especially Aditya Srivastava. This anthropological dimension is telling Homo sapiens have the unique ability to put forth their self-interest only, that is their tribal interest over their own. So this is an anthropological dimension which was only available in case of Animesh Pradhan. Not only that, students, Animesh Pradhan has also brought about an environmental dimension. He has talked about sustainable development, Montreal Protocol, and then Panchamrita example. So he has talked about both international as well as Indian examples in case of environmental dimension. So these are some of the uniqueness in case of especially Animesh Pradhan's answer copy. Not only that, in political dimension also, Animesh Pradhan has written an extraordinary perspective. If you look at it, he has quoted the example of that is a perspective of Michael Foucault. So even he quoted other dimensions as well, like the Nalsa, that is the homosexuality issue, and he has quoted various cases related judgments also. So he has went too much technical, which is not that much required. So overall, if you look at it, both the toppers have actually had some unique qualities in the dimensional approaches. Okay, students, let's now move to the next things. That is what Aditya Srivastava has done. So yes, before trying to conclude his essay, he is trying to quote the various philosophical from approaches of Socrates and then he's trying to say a conclusion, especially like he's trying to say that a knife in case of logic should be for greater good. So that is what is expected from everyone. If it is for greater good, means knife will be like a brush that we can paint it in a brilliant manner. So if you see here, he is trying to interlink with that topic, because starting he has guided Aditya Srivastava started his topic with world bomb only, and conclusion also he is trying to link it with the missiles only. So in a way that his introduction and conclusion is interrelated. And if you look at the conclusion, especially of Animesh Pradhan students, he is also trying to relate with the obituary of Alfred Nobel, which he quoted in the introduction. So introduction and conclusion, where they have started, they have ended here. And he is also talking about mind should work for collective goals of society. And he is also talking about the peace, because Alexander did not conquer the world, but rather Buddha did it through a peaceful manner. In that way, he is silently written his essay in an extraordinary manner. So overall, in a comparative analysis, you would have understood Aditya Srivastava's essay might be more organized compared to Animesh Pradhan's answer copy, but Animesh Pradhan had deeper quality points, multiple dimensions, Indian and world examples, and whatever topics he is talking about, he has entered little into the depth of the particular perspective, whatever he is talking about. Let's now enter into the marking segment, students. With respect to marking, students, let's now first evaluate the marking pattern for Animesh Pradhan. Animesh Pradhan, if you look at it, he has started that is the structure of the essay was visible. 5 marks we can give one for the structure of the essay, introduction, body, conclusion, and concept explainer. So he has written the concept. Time dimension was also visible. Various dimensional approaches are visible, and stakeholder approaches. So he has talked about woman cookie example, structural examples individually also, and societal level he has talked about it in a very good manner. Animesh Pradhan. Only sectoral approaches is missing in case of Animesh Pradhan's answer copy. So for covering these 5 dimensions, you will be getting 50 marks here. And for the introduction, that is the body, conclusion, structure, you will be getting another 5 marks extra. And if you go to the last 3 segments, 0.8, 9 and 10, current affairs, use of lottage of data, which has been done by Animesh Pradhan in a very good manner. Only problem is there is no especially organization in his essay. He has underlined the keywords. And what is one of the things which stands out very brilliantly, especially done by Animesh Pradhan, which was not visible in case of Aditya Srivastava, is interlinking the paragraphs. Let me quote this with examples. If you look at it, this particular Animesh Pradhan has continuously interrelated and justified the topic in multiple ways. He has again and again he has interrelated the topic, students. Wherever he is leaving the topic, he is trying to connect it. So if you look at it here, so he has put a question mark. Then he is trying to answer the following question. This is what I say interlinking the paragraph. Your paragraph should not be looking like all of a sudden you are trying to write a paragraph. That should be interlinkages between the paragraphs. Not only that, that should be also justification. You should frequently mention what is the mentioned in the topic, the keywords. Yes, again and again he has highlighted in the subtopic also the logic, brain. So what is present in the topic, that logic, brain, and then that knife, he has used it multiple times in most of his paragraphs. This is what I say interlinking with the topic. Interlinking the paragraph you would have very well understood, and interlinking with various issues, Animesh Pradhan has done it in a very, very beautiful manner. See here, students, he has written logic, ethical based logical mind. Then he is entering into similar to the ideas of capital punishment, the resourceful mind. So he's trying to correlate it. Not only that, how many times he has talked about the mind, which was actually mentioned in the particular topic only. This is what I am saying, just staying justification to the theme of the essay. This was done by very good manner by Animesh Pradhan, even though organization was not there. And he has underlined it, and he has provided data better than especially Aditya Srivastava. So overall, out of 20 marks for point number 8, 9 and 10, I will be giving 10 marks for Animesh Pradhan. So Animesh Pradhan will be getting 65 marks out of 125 marks in my evaluation parameter. Let's now move to the Aditya Srivastava. You would have clearly understood what is the good thing with Aditya Srivastava is his organization of essay. He was very good in writing an organized flow of essay, better than Animesh Pradhan. That is the one standing point. He has written also proper introduction, body, conclusion. 5 marks I will be giving. Concept clarity was easily visible. He has explained it. And dimensional approach was also there, historical and way forward also. And various dimensions both the toppers have covered, including Aditya Srivastava. Stakeholder approach, he has also talked about impact on women. Structural approach, he has talked about psychological perspective, how it impacts the individual's brain, everything. And only thing he also missed it is sectoral approach he has missed, Aditya Srivastava. So for these 5 points, I will be giving 50 marks for Aditya Srivastava also. And for the last three components, so he has not used that many, especially case study data to justify his point. Animesh Pradhan has done much better than Aditya Srivastava. And not only that, even while going with that interlinking also, this particular Aditya Srivastava is not interlinked with the topic. Often he has deviated from the topic, and the keywords he has also underlined it. But out of this 20 mark, I can only give for him 5 marks only, students. Why I am telling is that because he has not written the points also in a much descriptive manner, whereas Aditya Srivastava has written in a crisp manner, not entered into the deepness of the perspective. Animesh Pradhan has written that in a much better manner, and his uniqueness was outstanding. So, Aditya Srivastava will be only getting 60 marks out of 125 marks in my evaluation parameter. Let's now look at the both of their mark sheets also. Animesh Pradhan, he got almost 133 marks in the real essay paper out of 250, which comes around on an average of 66.5 marks per essay. So in our evaluation also, if you could see, he has got nearly that marks only, students, almost 65 marks. But what is one thing which Animesh Pradhan, in my suggestion, he would have improved, he should have improved, is that organization. If you would have written this essay in a much better organized manner, means you would have got even 10 mark extra, which he easily missed it. With respect to Aditya Srivastava, he needs to work on adding more quality points, because he has just mentioned the dimension. There was no organic flow, no interlinking. If you could work on these two parameters, he would have got 5 marks or 10 marks extra, which could be visible in his final marks also. Because if you could see, Aditya Srivastava, even though he was all India rank 1 topper, he got less mark in essay, which comes around 58 marks only, 58.5 out of for one essay. In our evaluation also, if you could see, he got nearly 60 marks, near to that only. So Aditya Srivastava has to work on lot of things. But Animesh Pradhan's only point to work is to write the essay in an organized manner. I hope this comparison will give much clarification how you should also write your essay in a proper structural approach, and how to do the concept clarity to the topic and write it in a multiple dimensional perspective, which we listed, and how you should do value addition to the essay by quoting examples and adding uniqueness, organization, interlinking to your essay. If you have any further doubts, students, on writing an essay, or if you want your essay copies to be evaluated, we have provided our Telegram group in the description. You can join the Telegram group and share your essay. We will give you feedback on your essay as well. Thank you, students.